video explains how to submit benzene emissions data to the AER via the OneStop platform. Under the Operate menu, click Reporting, and then Emissions Reporting. Select Benzene from the Emissions Navigation menu in the left column. Click the Search Create New Submission button to create a draft submission. Select the reporting year from the drop-down list. This date range represents the operating year for which you are reporting. Click Search. Use the Authorization search window to find the reporting facility or well site required. When you know the authorization ID, enter the full or partial number in the field. Click Search. Click the checkbox beside the authorization ID. Ensure you select the associated reporting facility ID where you want to allocate the associated methane emissions for Directive 60 reporting. Click the Select Reporting Facility button. You may only select one reporting facility at a time. Click Next. A dialog box appears with the option to view or amend the submission. Click Cancel or X to close the window without viewing or amending the submission. Note the authorization number at the top left-hand side of your screen. Dehydrators added on the screen are added under this authorization ID. On the Dehydrators curtain, click Add to add the new dehydrator. The individual dehydrator inventory form opens. Create a unique site ID for use in future years. It is important to note that when you click outside the form window or when you strike the Enter key, the form closes and your changes are lost. Enter a unique dehydrator ID for use in future years. This is a required field that needs to match any previous submissions on this dehydrator. Enter the number of dehydrators on site. Include all dehydrators located on the surface lease, regardless of the number of licenses associated with the lease. Enter the surface location for this dehydrator. Enter the distance to the nearest surface development in meters. For distances greater than 1,500 meters, you may report this as 1501 or the actual distance when known. Select Yes or No from the Notification Completed drop-down list. Select Yes where notifications of all close proximity surface developments have been completed in the past. Select the correct value from the Installation Type drop-down list. Select the correct value from the Process Type drop-down list. Select the correct value from the Dehydrator Operating Status drop-down list. Select Operating when the dehydrator has operated in any portion of the operating year for which you are reporting. When decommissioned or not operating is selected, you do not need to complete the remainder of this form. It will be grayed out and not available to edit. Information for the AER data processor and/or company notes can still be entered in the comment fields. When a dehydrator is reported as decommissioned, it can be removed from inventory the following year. Select the year of installation or relocation of the dehydrator from the drop-down list. You can select 1998 when the dehydrator is older than 1999 and the installation year is not known. Enter the site limit where multiple dehydrators on site value in tons per year. When there is only one dehydrator on site, enter the benzene emissions limit for the dehydrator. Be precise to 1 decimal place. Enter the gas flow rate to dehydrator value. This should be a whole number without decimals. Enter the glycol circulation rate value, precise to 1 decimal, but additional decimals places may be input when known. Enter the wet gas water content value. Enter a whole number without decimals. Enter the benzene concentration dehydrator inlet gas value. Enter a number with at least 3 decimals. Enter the number of operating days this dehydrator was operating in the operating year. Enter the annual methane emissions in kilograms. Enter a whole number without decimals. Enter the annual benzene emissions before control. This value must have at least 2 decimal places. Enter the annual benzene emissions after control. This value must have at least 2 decimal places and be less than or equal to the before control value. Enter the cumulative benzene emissions for multiple dehydrators on site, when the number of dehydrators on site is more than 1. This is cumulative after control emissions from all dehydrators on the site for the operating year. This value must have at least 2 decimal places. When the number of dehydrators on site is 1, this field is grayed out. Select the first benzene emissions control under the primary control drop-down list based on the order of process flow. Enter the control efficiency as a whole number value. When no control is selected, the efficiency value is grayed out and considered as 0%. Secondary and third controls are also grayed out. When you select a control other than no control from the primary control drop-down list, the efficiency % field becomes available. When applicable, select a secondary control from the drop-down list. Enter the control efficiency value as a whole number. When a control is in use that is not listed in the drop-down menu, select Other. Enter the efficiency. A description field is generated and is required to describe the control used. Select a third control when applicable. Enter the control efficiency as a whole number. Select the emissions determination method. Select more than one method where applicable. When you select stack sampling or total capture testing or both, the date of emissions testing and stack sampling is required. Select the date of emissions testing or stack sampling. Provide the date of the most recent test conducted during or prior to the operating year. Do not enter a testing stack sampling date conducted after December 31st of the operating year. In the optional comments field, enter information for the AER data processor and/or company notes. Click Calculate Benzene Limits. The values of the individual dehydrator benzene limit and prorated benzene limit for individual dehydrator is calculated. Click the Add Update Dehydrator button to save the data and return to the Manual Entry Dehydrators page for this authorization ID. To view or edit your draft submission, select a dehydrator and click View More. To add or remove a dehydrator for this reporting period, click the Add or Remove buttons. When removing a dehydrator, you must select the Save button, or the dehydrator line is not deleted. Click Validate to check your draft submission and validate the data formatting. When the validation displays errors, reopen the dehydrator details and edit the data appropriately. When the validation passes, click Next. Business rules are displayed on the overview screen. Click Submit to submit the entry to the AER as the annual dehydrator benzene inventory form record for this authorization ID. Complete the primary contact information declaration and disclaimer form. Ensure the contact information references the person that the AER would contact with questions about the data. When applicable, check Include Secondary Contacts on all correspondence. Click I agree to accept the disclaimer. Click Yes to confirm and submit your form. This data is now added to the annual dehydrator benzene inventory form for your company. You are returned to the submissions emission screen.